what when you're coming out of ace school, like let's say one of the viewers, one of the people that want to join the Coast Guard and work on fixed wing, how do they actually become a fixed wing AMT?
Well, it's something that you want to have in mind before you go to school. It's changed a little bit how picks work, but when you're in school, it's like school, you get grades on tests, and you get, ranks based on where you are in the class, and based on your rank, it's a pecking order. So the picks come out from the detailer, and based on what there is available, spots at different units, you just go start from the top. First pick, first rank in the class gets the first pick, and so on. So I was 11th in my class.
Out of how many?
Out of 20 per class, and I was the first person who took C-130s.
Wow.
Because everyone wants to be a hero and on helicopters, but C-130 is, like I said, a hidden gem, just because I think it's a cooler platform.
Were there a lot of picks for C-130s when you got the list?
In our class, like I said, it's different based on what's available. But in our class, there were 2 Clearwater C-130s, 2 Elizabeth City C-130s, and 1 in Kodiak.
Wow. And you were number 11, and you were able to get
the first one, yeah.
You were able to get the first C-130? Wow.
Yeah.
So what if you wanted to, let's say you got fixed wing, or maybe you got helos, and you weren't able to get fixed wing. Is it possible to change platforms and switch?
It is. It's very unheard of to switch between platforms because, they're very different. A helicopter versus a plane. But if you wanted to, yeah, you could change. It's just different maintenance and a different lifestyle, like I said. There are 3 different planes, actually 4 different planes. There's the C-130, the C-27, the C-144, and the, I forget the name of them, but they're the Commandant's plane. It's a jet plane, actually, in DC, and you actually have to get vetted for that position. But it's easier to switch between different plane platforms just because it's the same style of airplane, or aircraft, sorry.
How much time in school do you think you spend learning about how to fix these helos, or fix these fixed wings? I'm sorry.
School is 166 days, a long time, but I don't think school really does the best job of preparing you for what you're going to experience out in the field. It just kind of, shows you what aviation is versus the boat world, and learning how it almost works, and general, just mechanic stuff, stuff that if you're, able to do with your dad in the garage, different tools and stuff, that you're fine. You just got to learn, how it is to be an aviator, and you learn in the field. So I came to the air station not knowing anything about planes except, tools and how the maintenance system works, like Almas and stuff. You learn on the job, and nights is a very good opportunity to get because you really get inside the plane and learn about the systems. So if you're worried about, you don't know much about aircraft maintenance, you really don't learn that anywhere except on the job. So it's definitely something you learn on the job.
How do your responsibilities shift as you advance for AMTs? Because right now it's pretty backed up with lots of AMT2s, or there's just lots of AMT3s because they can't move on to AMT2s.
Mm-hmm.
How does it kind of work when you're moving up in rank, and the types of responsibilities that you're gonna hold?
Well, it can be a slow moving up because aviation's a good way of life. Not a lot of people want to get out, and there's only so many positions for different ranks. So if, master chiefs and senior chiefs don't want to get out, or they those positions kind of lock up, and not many people can move up. And they've actually shut down the school a couple years ago because they just had too many people. But now we actually need more people, so they're just sending, AMTs. We're actually short 7 AMTs on every hangar deck in the Coast Guard.
Wow. So right now is a pretty good time to be a
Yes.
A fixed wing AMT, or is this just
AMT in general?
AMT in general.
Yeah.
how long do you think, because aviation is backed up a little bit, how long does it typically take to kind of advance in your career? Because I know, like, for BMs, like, there's a lot of BMs that are chiefs, BM1s in, like, 9-10 years. Is that something that's possible as an AMT?
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, you get your prac signed off and you just take service-wide tests. You can rank up. I see a lot of young first class and chiefs on the hangar deck.
Not being in aviation, we always kind of hear that it's like, you've got that AMT2 or AST1 that's just been like there for 20 years. Is that pretty common, and can a lot of people kind of get held up? I imagine it's a lot more competitive in aviation.
It is, yeah. There's quite a few old first classes and chiefs. Like I said, it's a better lifestyle, I think, than the boating world, just because it's less. It's more about camaraderie, and everyone likes to stay where they're at. First class is a good position to be at when you're in aviation.
Yeah, why is that?
It's just not to say having responsibility is a bad thing, but you just get to do more maintenance versus sitting behind a desk, I think. And I at least want to make first class by the end of my career. So
what and as far as ending your career, what type of things can you expect when you get out, having all this experience with fixed wings?
Working in aviation, I think, is one of the better rates to transition into a civilian job. Initially, I wanted to become a swimmer, but because I realized that they can really only transition into EMT type, jobs, being a mechanic, being an aviation mechanic, is very sought after in the civilian world. Private mechanics can, based on their qualifications and schools they've been to, can easily make up to 6 figures.
6 figures.
Uh-huh.
And these types of airline mechanics, they look for people that were in the Coast Guard that have these.
Uh-huh.
Is the training and the work and the certifications that you get inside the Coast Guard, is it easily transferable to the civilian side?
Yes, very. A lot of the C schools that we go through are schools that civilians, pay a lot of money to go to, and I'm very thankful that I get a chance to do that, because it's leading to things like getting my AMT license and knowledge about basic aircraft systems that people pay a lot of money to get that knowledge. So I, as if I do 20 years as a 20-year veteran with an AMP license, which is just a license that says you know what you're doing, it's in aircraft maintenance, have a better chance than a college student that spent 6 years studying this stuff and hasn't really gotten out in the field and turned a wrench. Just because I have 20 years of mechanics experience already, being in the military is plus, and that AMP certification is something that civilian or private employers look for, just because it's, like I said, you know what you're doing. They want that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for being able to take the time today to talk about what it's like being a fixed wing AMT compared to like a helo AMT. It's a pretty big difference. Not a whole lot of people maybe know about that when they're coming into the Coast Guard, that it's not just AMT. There's AMTs with fixed, there's AMTs with helos, there's AMTs that AMTs that deal more with the mechanic work, and AMTs that deal more with the search and rescue type things. It's pretty different and pretty interesting. So thank you so much for being able to take the time to
no problem.
describe that. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up. Be sure to support my friend Tyler. Just let him know in the comment section, thanking him for what he's doing, and especially for what's going on right now with all the hurricanes. That I applaud. I'm just so honored to be able to be in the same service with you guys, that you guys are helping out so much over there. So thank you. Be sure to thank him. Subscribe if you want to get more content like this. My mission is to help you guys on your Coast Guard journey and to becoming better Coast Guardsmen. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.